Welcome back everyone to our gameplay series of Pure Farming 2018. So today's video is going to be all about, first of all it's going to be all about how in the world do we get into this milk silo. Can I do this? Are we going to make it? Alright, yeah, there we go. We just barely made it. Alright, so it's going to be all about making the money necessary to get all of the equipment that we're going to need to get started with field work, and that means everything up to and including our combine. So the first thing we're going to be doing, if we bring up our notifications, you might notice that we have about 10 grand more than what we ended our last video with, and that is simply the greenhouses. I'm going to be taking care of those for the most part off camera, and then every once in a while, as I try to do generally, I'll show those on camera, but for the most part I will do those off camera. So that's where that money came from. That is one more from each. So now you can see we got a little bit of time before our next cycle ends and we get our next harvest. But we get about 5 grand from those, about 4,900 or so each time we do a harvest there. But the good thing is, once again, I did not add any more resources, no more fertilizer or water as of yet. So my guess is at this point we're going to end up getting 5 growth cycles, 5 full cycles out of each of these greenhouses before we have to go back and refill the water and the fertilizer. So that is really good. So that's where our extra money came from to get us up to 130,000. But in this video, we are going to focus on, we're going to fast forward as soon as we get done with the milk here, because the milk is, we just drained it. So now we're down to only 1% there. And of course, we don't have enough for another tank full at our original cow barn location. So I'm going to fast forward, and then off camera I will take care of the greenhouses once again, and then we'll come back in a few days when it's time to get all of that income flowing again from our orchards and our pigsties. So we're going to make a lot of money in this episode, and we are going to get busy purchasing some equipment. So that'll be toward the end of the video where we'll end off today purchasing our equipment. I am very excited about that because it's going to give me an opportunity to purchase one of the tractors that so far it is my favorite one in the game, and I'm pretty excited to get going with that. And then we're going to try to put some plans in place to really expand on our field work. Now, with that being said, we've talked about it on multiple occasions that field work AI has been lacking in this game. At this current time, I mean, they've made changes to it. I'd like to say improvements, but we'll just say changes to the AI behavior in every patch so far. And in tomorrow's patch, I would expect no different. I would expect further changes, and we'll just have to see how that goes. But my plan is that we're gonna press forward, and we're gonna do the field work if at all possible. The only thing that's going to keep me from doing the field work at this point is if there is some sort of devastating glitch in the AI where they just won't complete it. What I expect to get is, assuming no big improvements in this upcoming patch this week, I'm assuming that we're going to get somewhere between 90 and about 93, maybe 94% yield of each field. And we'll just decide how much we're going to attack this. Are we going to do all of the steps? Are we going to leave out the spraying? You know, that kind of stuff. So we'll make some decisions on that. But for the most part, we're just going to go with it. We're going to have fun, and we're not going to worry about the yield that we get. We're just going to go with it as best that it can be. There we go. So now we got $7,300 from that milk. Milk is a tremendous source of income for us. All right, so at this point we need to actually pull up our map, because there's no need for us to drive and park this milk trailer. I mean, we could park it back over here where we just came from at Cow Barn 2, but the next time we get milk will likely be from Cow Barn number 1. So let's go ahead and teleport back over there. And now you can see nice and neatly we have our slurry tank, our manure tank, and now our milk tank. Now, one of the things you might also notice is I cleaned up the tractor a little bit. And you can see it's still got a little dirt on it, but I cleaned it up some. And the reason I did that, let's see, I guess I better leave this bad boy right here for right now. The reason I did that is there was something weird about this milk tank. that when it was looking dirty, it just didn't look right for a milk tank to be that dirty. And it was starting to get to me a little bit, so I simply took it over here. Now, I intended to show this on camera, but me being me, I kind of messed up some things with the filming, so I didn't get any of it on camera. But yeah, we just come right over here and we can wash those up. So now here we are sitting at 137,000. Let's come back in and let's see what's going to be next in line for us. We know we got the 2 greenhouses that are going to be in full effect for us here before too long, but then after that, it's really 3 days. So everything is going to line up at the same time for us, assuming we don't get any rain. And nope, looks like the next rain is going to be in about 6 days from now. All right, so this is going to be pretty good. I'll see you guys in about 3 days. Welcome back, everyone. And you can see in the top right-hand corner a couple of things. Number one, we are now at 180,000 of revenue. And then right below it, which has just disappeared on us, is our notification that we need to go and collect from one of our greenhouses. So let's go ahead and start out by doing that. And boy, was I busy while I was off camera. I feel like I put in about an hour and a half worth of work on everything. I took off, let's see, I ended up selling a load of manure from each of the cow barns, a load of slurry, or a tank of slurry from each of the cow barns. I have, let's see, I have dealt with the greenhouses at least twice, maybe 3 times, not counting what we're about to do here. So this might make 4 during that time frame. Let's see, what else did I do? There was definitely, oh yeah, I took off a couple of, at least 1 tank of milk. I'm losing count at this point. But yeah, there was a lot going on. Oh, I refilled the greenhouses with fertilizer and water. So I think we were going to end up getting 6 full growth cycles out of those between needing to fill those up. But I went ahead and filled them up after 5 apiece anyway, just to go ahead and do it and get that out of the way, because I knew we were going to have a lot of other stuff going on, and I wanted to make sure that didn't get interrupted and right in the middle of all this. I went ahead and took care of that. So yeah, I was quite busy. The good news is we made quite a bit of money. We're up to 180,000 now. And of course, our goal is to buy all of the equipment, if possible, that we're going to need for field work. And that's a tall order, because that's a lot of money. So we're going to have to take a look at exactly how much money that's going to be. And we're going to be doing most, if not all, of our purchasing directly from the physical store, the vehicle store itself. And of course, that's because we're going to get 20% discount by doing that. And we want to make our money stretch as far as we possibly can. So as soon as we get done selling these peppers, we will actually take a look and see what is in store for us here in the next portion of our video. All right, let's go ahead and sell these off. And I'm telling you, I can't talk enough about just how much money. Look at that, $6,100 worth of peppers. I can't talk enough good things about how much money you can make with these greenhouses. Now that they've taken care of the upkeep being greatly minimized, they are a huge money maker each and every day. All right, so under our notifications, the reason why the cow barn number 1 is, we've seen this before, this means I took all the milk out. So now it's just down to telling us we have 100% adult cows, and they'll be adults for 13 more days. That's where it's at right now. And then cow barn number 2 is almost ready for a full milk load as well. So, I mean, realistically, we could do that one as well, because we can hold up to 17% of the storage amount in our milk tank to sell. So we're not very far off of that. But the main thing we're going to be doing is we're going to get the money from these orchards. That's going to be a huge amount of money. And of course, once we have that amount of money, then it's all about a shopping spree. We are going to go shopping for some very nice equipment, and which will set us up quite nicely to begin our field work. So yeah, I've been kind of busy off camera. Like I said, this is why this game would be really great for streaming, because, and I just got to figure that out because it would be non-stop action. I have done very little fast forwarding of time at all. Another thing I'm going to have to work through is where am I going to put all the equipment? I'm going to, for the most part, I've just been putting things here and there. I mean, over here you can see I've got our milk equipment for the most part. All right, let's go ahead and disconnect there, which for some reason that tractor never likes doing that. Okay, so now it is time to get over. Let's see, where are we? Actually, I think that's the one we want right there. Is this where we want it to be? Yes, it is. Now, this is a medium tractor, and I would actually like to have a heavy tractor on this simply because of the loads that we are pulling. But again, that's one of those things that will happen at some point in the future, whenever it happens, but now is not the time, I don't think. Anyway. So we're going to get busy making this money, and I believe this is going to put us over the edge of where we need to be to get everything we need for our field work, but of course, time will tell. Let's see, do we hit our sign? Okay, admittedly, I got a little closer to it that time just to make sure we would. All right, we're just going to take the easy route in here. There we go. Pick up all these pears. All right, I kind of want to see. Let's see, I'm going to make a little wide arc here because I want the thing. Okay, so it's still 61% water level. Something I did this time just to find out is I actually did not come back over and fill the water tanks. I left them at 0. They've been 0 for 3 days now. And so the only water they've gotten is what was already there. There has been no rain during this time. So that worked out really well, I have to say. I didn't expect that to work out quite that way. I kept waiting for a message that says, hey, you need to come fill these water tanks because the water level is too low, but it just never happened. So that's even less time that I had to spend on the orchards this time, and that is greatly appreciated. Because as I mentioned in the last video, and as I've been talking about some here, and we'll talk about more going forward in each video, is that we're at a point now where we could use some AI help. So I'm really hoping that they get some mods going in the near future. I will be happy to work on some of those mods if they will open up the structure, because we simply need some help, because this is a lot to do, and if there is no multiplayer capability, then you can't ask your buddies to come and help you out. So you have to do it all yourself, and we really are at a point where it would be nice if I could either hire workers to do some things like you would do with certain other mods from other games, where you could, set up tasks and routes for them to do those things, or set up ways for the game to sort of take care of them automatically. And I am perfectly fine with that automatically being at a reduced profit margin. I am perfectly fine with that. That is not an issue for me at all. Because, let's face it, that's the way it works in real life. You can't do it all yourself. Even if you've got a great business plan and everything, you can't do it all yourself. You're going to need a lot of talented people to help you out. And that's where we are right now on our farm. We need some people to help us out. Because I would love to be able to show you guys more of what I do off camera, but these would be like 1.5 to 2 hour episodes if I did that. And we just don't want to get into that for multiple reasons. Alright, so I noticed we got a very nice sum of money from our first load of pears. So the prices must be flowing quite nicely in the market. I don't spend a lot of time looking at the market and the prices because it's not going to make any difference on what I decide to do. We're doing the things we're doing, of course, to make money, but we're doing them to experience them. And, that's the way I play the games, and pretty much everything I play is to have fun. And you know, and I don't spend a lot of time. Ooh boy, ooh, look out, game. The game did not like that turn at all. Wow, haven't seen one that bad. I hadn't seen hiccups that bad in a while now. But yeah, just doing things for fun, and it's not like I'm going to stop doing the orchards if the price drops down. I mean, it would have to drop down a long, long way for me to worry about that. So at this point, if I stop doing anything, whether it's the orchards or really whatever, greenhouses, you name it, it would have to be just simply because we don't have time to do it. And where it's just simply taking too much time on or off camera, and I really don't want that to happen. That's why I really want the game to have some additional form of automation for us, whether that's additional workers tasks or mods or whatever the case may be. We need stuff like that, especially if we're going to become, you know, world dominant as we start to get into these other maps. I mean, that's even more stuff for us to do. All right, so we got a little over 14,000 on our last load, so that bodes very well. If you notice in the top right-hand corner, again, we're already over 200,000, so we're well on our way to being where we need to be. All right, there we go. Another $14,600. That puts us over 215,000 now. We will definitely take that. All right, we'll pick up our last load here, our 80 to 90% load, and then we'll work our way over to our apple orchard. We'll deal with it, but yeah, we're going to end up with quite a bit of money. So in these last few episodes, I mean, you can really see the fruits of our labor and how we have systematically grown our income base over the course of our farming, and it's definitely paying off. Another good thing about going forward is as we get into field work, again, assuming that it works out, and I am really going to try to make it work out. I know the AI have a lot of issues, but if at all possible, I am going to stick with the field work and try to make it happen, even if it's at a greatly reduced efficiency level. That's okay. We just got to make it happen. I'm ready for it to happen. And at this point, once we get all the equipment we need, buying fields really isn't that expensive. Now, obviously, once we get into some of the huge fields, if we decide to go that route, then yes, those are going to be fairly expensive. But those would be huge fields, which also are going to give us huge revenue streams. But the smaller fields are not going to cost very much, so we're going to be able to basically purchase as many of those as we want to. All right, let's hope we don't get this massive frame drop. And okay, we got a little bit there, as again it was drawing the world in. All right, but not too bad. Okay, that's not the end of the world. I can live with some hitches here and there. All right, so even though I did not come in and fill up the water tanks on either of these orchards, in fact, on all three of the orchards, if I remember correctly, I did not come back and fill in the water tanks. So that means that it has not hurt the volume of our... Let's see if we get it this time. Nope, I didn't see it that time. It has not hurt the volume of our harvest, that's for sure, because we're getting the same amount as we've been getting. So I like it. Every little corner that I can find to save myself a little bit of time, I am definitely happy about as we continue to progress through the game. Alright, so this will be our final load here at this location. Just love watching that money in the top right hand corner continue to increase. Alright, so we almost made it to 230,000. Right there. Okay, let's pull up our map now. And we'll need to work our way over to our other orchard. And again, all of the spraying and watering and stuff like that I do for the orchards, I'll continue, for the most part, to do those off camera. And then every once in a while I will show those on camera. Alright, here we go. Huge dip right here. I mean, that is a huge... That's going to be a gully for when the water flows through there. When it rains, I bet that fills up quickly. Alright, here we go. So we're going to have one full load and then maybe 10-15% in the second load if everything holds true to what we have been getting out of this particular orchard. It's a shame there's not another orchard over here nearby and that we don't have the ability to plant one, because I would actually love the ability just to have the option of maybe taking a field and making an orchard out of it, and being able to pay some sort of a fee to, you know, purchase the trees and so on, and make that happen. Again, just options. I love and love and love options in any game, in every game. Because it gives me so many different ways of going about playing things, and most importantly, it allows replayability. Because I can, if any of you guys that have seen any of my Motorsport Manager playthroughs, I have done some very different things, and what I've been doing on this Endurance DLC playthrough is very different than simply going for great finishes and championships. I mean, it has been a much more relaxed playthrough that is a very different style than you might think of. But the game gives me options, so I can do playthroughs like that and just relax and have fun with it, and build some HQ buildings and not have to worry about, you know, playing everything the same way every time. All right, there we go. So 13,600. And we'll go back now and we'll pick up that last little bit. Again, 10-15% maybe. And once again there you've got the wind turbine that is just taunting me to come over and purchase it. Same thing with these solar panels that we go by around the other orchards. It is just taunting me into purchasing it, and one of these days I'm going to give in and I'm going to do just that, because that's, you know, right now we're getting about $2,100 a day of the passive income, and no reason why we would want to continue that in the future. Yeah, there we go. Just a small amount this time, but we are over $240,000. Now in this case, I did not do the math ahead of time and try to figure up exactly how much money we were going to have when we got done with this revenue cycle and this growth cycle from orchards, you know, cows and pigs and all that. I did not try to figure that up simply because I wanted to be surprised by it. And I am indeed surprised by $240,000. I did not expect it to be quite that high. So I think we're going to have all the money we need for our equipment. At least I hope we do. The combine will no doubt be the most expensive portion of our purchase, but I think we're going to have enough to take care of even that. Alright, here we go. So we'll get this last bit of income. $2,700. We will definitely take it. And so we're going to end up being near 245 grand. Now, one thing we have not done, if you'll remember, is we have not dealt with the pigs yet. Now, we've not gone and, ooh boy, that glitch got me. I definitely took out that road sign. No question about that. All right, so I'm actually going to just slide over here and drop off. There we go. So let's take a quick look in on our notifications. All right, so not going to worry about the cow barns. We already know about those. Also, I'm not sure why it divides these orchards out and puts some of them on empty, because we already know that most of the time these fields don't show up under empty. They show up under growth for some reason, even though it shows nothing being planted. But I know that I've got water levels and I need to go ahead and spray on all the orchards, so that's no big deal. We got some tomatoes in a few hours, and we still got another whole day for the pigsties. Wow, that is unreal, and I will definitely take it. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll tell you what. Let's work our way. This will work just fine. All right, so I think we are ready to go, because what I'm going to want to do is we're going to go and we're going to physically go to the store and purchase everything, and I'm going to try to get it all back as much as I can in the shed. And then we've already got a water tank here, so that's one thing we don't have to purchase for the fields. We've got a water tank that sits mostly unused at this point because the greenhouses simply don't need that much water. So we're in good shape there. That's one implement already down. And let's see. We've got some more space over here for at least one other implement right there. And I try to leave plenty of room because the AI likes to use a lot of room when a lot of this area right in here whenever they're turning around. In fact, it's not good that the house over here is so close to this field. They don't have a whole lot of room to turn around. All right, I think we're ready to do this. Let's pull up our map. And we're going to hit our way down to what they call the trade center, what I simply call the vehicle store. And let's walk up to our stern-looking gentleman who, I mean, he should be much happier. We're about to spend a lot of money with him. A lot of money. All right, so let's go in and get our 20% discount. We're going to start off with a tractor. Now, and I have mentioned before that we're going to purchase what is, for now, my favorite tractor in the game. That generally changes over time as I have a chance to glance through the store and decide I'm looking to upgrade on some of our purchases. So really my favorite up to this point has been the 160, simply because it's a little bit better fuel consumption and gives you more power than the 150, which is the cheapest of the heavy tractors. But now I really want the McCormick. I really, really like this McCormick for a couple of reasons. First of all, you notice it's not the cheapest heavy tractor, but it is not far from it. A couple of $1,000s is all. So let's go ahead and purchase that. Now, is this needed? No, of course it's not needed. Look at that, 212 horsepower versus 147 for the base heavy tractor. So we got plenty of horsepower here to do the job. Let's go ahead and back out because I want to come over here. Look at this. That is a beautiful tractor. Yeah, that's just a beautiful piece of machinery there. Also, as I mentioned in the last episode, I really wish we had some New Holland in this game because I drive by frequently a New Holland dealership here in town, and it would be nice to have that. Okay, so we're down to 188 on our money. So let's go ahead and go under cultivation. So we need a plow. Now, I'm not going to mess with this plow because I think this is one of the plows that's giving the AI fits. They just don't know how to handle a plow that big. You can see it is, if you take a look at the three here, you start off with the smallest, the base level, and then you move up to about 1.5 times the size, and then right there you go up and you double even the middle one. So we're going to stay away from that one. We might try it later on, but for now this is the one we want. Okay, then we're going to scroll our way down. Now it's time to look at cultivators, but we're going to do things a little differently. I'm not interested in a separate cultivator. I mean, you got this thing. This is absolutely monstrous. That is pretty awesome, actually. But we're not going to do that. We're actually going to get the drill. And the reason we're going to get the drill is because it both cultivates and seeds at the same time. And that is exactly what we want to do. We want to try to be as efficient as possible. Granted, its working area isn't nearly as large as some of the other tools that we could get, but that's okay. It also cuts down on the amount of equipment we need. So we'll go ahead and pick this one up. There we go. So now we've got a plow, we've got a cultivator, and we've got a seeder. Okay, so now we need to pick up, as we scroll down a little bit, we've got a choice of a couple of fertilizers. Now, I do not plan to use our slurry or manure as fertilizer. I plan to keep just selling it separately, just to keep things simple. And just keep everything separate and everything doing its own thing, and not worry about getting into the manure and slurry on the fields. I want to keep this simple. And for that reason, this is a larger capacity, but we really don't need it, simply because the workers on the field will take care of that automatically for you. All of that cost is taken care of in what you pay the workers. So if we give them a full fertilizer tank to start off on the field, they will give us back a full fertilizer tank. So the size really doesn't make any difference. No reason to pay for the extra, although if you take a look, it's not that much difference anyway, so it's not like you're saving a whole lot of money. But we'll go ahead and purchase that one. All right, so now we've got our fertilizer tank. We're not going to worry about some of these. That is dealing with the potatoes, which we are not doing right now. Okay, now you get into the seeders. And then we've got our sprayer. Now this is one I'm a little bit unsure about whether or not we're going to use. And the reason I am is because this thing is extremely hard to deal with. I have noticed on my own some issues trying to use it and store it, because it can just be a real mess. Now hopefully they have helped out some with that, but it can be kind of a mess to deal with. This is what we would use to spray after the crops have already started to grow. So this is one of those you have to wait a day or two before you can actually use this piece of equipment. For now, I'm going to go ahead and buy it. We'll see. Okay, so we're good there. Let's actually back out for a second before we take a look at combines. All right, so we've got a lot of stuff here. And I mean a lot of stuff. So here is our drill, which is a cultivator. You can see the discs here on the front. You got a cultivator / seeder, and the seeder in the back. And then we've got our plow. Very nice looking plow there, by the way. Very nice. I like the graphics on that. It looks very good. Then, of course, our tractor, which we've seen. And because we're running out of space over here, we're loading them up. There is our fertilizer tank. And then finally that humongous sprayer, which whenever it unfolds is absolutely monstrous and can cover a huge ground. The AI do not do very well at all, so if we're going to use this, it's probably going to mean that I'm going to have to drive that one. Not that that's a big deal. It's just something to plan ahead for. So now we are down to, we need to get, actually I'm not even sure we have enough room in here. We're going to fill up this entire parking lot and end up boxing ourselves in, I think. So let's go ahead and get some of this out of the way, I think. Oh, come on, turn for me now. Turn. This tractor does not want to turn. Oh, there we go. It finally turned a little bit. Okay, so let's get some of this out of the way, because that combine is going to be, of course, monstrous. All right, so let's go ahead and zoom in here on our shed. Okay, so now we've got our plow sitting there. Now we are going to, I need our tractor to come back with us. So let's teleport back. So we're going to spend a little money here in teleporting cost, but no matter there. So remember, we've already got our water tank there, so we'll be able to take care of watering the fields as well. Okay, let's get our seeder and get it taken care of. There we go. Make sure that went in well. It did, slid in just perfectly. So we've got room for, I think, 3 more pieces there. Well, the sprayer, who knows about that? we shall see about the sprayer. Okay, let's go ahead and get our... Oh, I am on the wrong... Am I on the wrong side of this thing? I can't tell. Nope, we're good. I was beginning to think that I was on the wrong side of that. Alright, that'll get back. We got that little bitty fertilizer spreader. That attachment looks so small compared to everything else that we generally have going on. Alright, now to the one that is going to be the most interesting. Now let's see what we can do with this sprayer. Alright, let's get this thing out of the way. Alright. So this thing is huge. Let's see how it drops in. Okay, so it dropped in good. So no issues there. So now I'm actually going to hop out of the tractor, because what we got going now is, let's see, let's hop back over to the vehicle center. So now let's take a quick look around, make sure we got all of our implements taken care of. We did. All right, excellent. So now we're going to take a look at our combines and our... There we go. So combines and then our headers. So we could go with the base model. This is the one that you start out the game with in free play. That's what you start out with. And we can go up to the next one in line, which is only 15 grand more. And the biggest thing, I'm sure there's some increased capacity. Does it tell me that's anywhere? Let's see. 1,744. Yeah, there you go. So double the capacity. I wish it actually told you that out here. So you've got double the capacity in this one. And then if you look, 11.79 feet for a working area as opposed to the 19.68. So quite a bit more working area. I like this one. Now, we can keep going down further. Some of these, it gets to be so huge that it's hard. In fact, this one has a trailer. Because it's just too wide to get down the road, and that scares me a little bit, particularly with the AI. And then down into here you get into actually working with some other crops that we are not dealing with right now. So I think I'm going to start with this middle of the line. Plus it's got a nice blue tint to it. Looks a little different. Alright, so let's go ahead and buy. There we go, 105,000. Then we need the header. There we go. So we're down to 29 grand. So that is very nice. All right, let's hop in to our, yeah, I mean, this thing is a beast. An absolute beast. Love it. All right, let's see if we can maneuver this thing around. So I'm hoping that the AI will not have any issues with this one. I feel like this is the best bang for our buck. To try to have an increased capacity that it can carry. That means fewer times that we're going to have to unload it, which hopefully means fewer possibilities for issues that we got. You can see this thing moves right along. Okay, let's go ahead and, I tell you what, let's drive this one back. We'll go ahead and drive this one back instead of teleporting. You can see we are just able to fit through here, so any bigger and we definitely would not be able to get through. That is the one thing that really concerns me about these combines, and particularly with the AI using them. So I think this was our best bet, our best as far as capacity, but also it's small enough that I feel like the AI will be okay working with it. Alright, so we'll get this back on the farm. You can see, I mean, we're right here at it, so it's not like it's all that far to go. And then we've got the one greenhouse on the farm that we don't currently own. right, they put that rock right there for us so that we can't easily go up and over in that area. I know they did that on purpose. I know they did, to keep people like me from cutting the area. All right, so we've got our combine, and of course we start out with 2 fields in free play, one of which is right there to our left, and the other of which is right over next to the pig farm. So I want to make sure, let's see, how much room do we have going through here? Oh yeah, we're plenty fine going through there. Plenty fine. So I'm actually going to swing this one around. Try to make a really wide arc here. And swing this thing around. Yeah, there we go. Should give us plenty of room. So we got a nice parking spot. Now I can tell you, going forward, let's actually work our way back over to all of our implements and where we've got them setting up. Now my plan going forward is, in our next video we will come back and we'll actually get started in our field work, and of course we'll do all the other normal stuff and continue to make money on that as well. But we've got all of our implements sitting here. They will not be stored like that. I can already tell you that is not going to happen. But over time, my plan is to purchase additional tractors, maybe this tractor, maybe a different tractor, we'll see. But continue to purchase additional tractors, because as we get more and more fields that we're trying to work, then I plan on doing some of the field work along with the AI, just to try to speed things up a little bit. And also I like the idea of having tractors assigned to some of the equipment that we use a lot, so that way I don't have to attach and unattach a whole lot. Again, just something that is my preference, and plus it gives me a great opportunity to purchase a lot more stuff in the game. So I think that's going to do it for this video, but boy did we accomplish a lot here. Just like in our last video, we made a ton of money today, and not only that, but we got to spend almost all of it here at the end. And look at this, we have, wow, come on game, work with me. We have quite a nice array of both tractors. Now we have our first combine, and look at all of the equipment. Yeah, we've got a lot going on our farm for now. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned. Next time we'll actually get to do some field work in Pure Farming 2018.